Number one, how do we convert degrees to radians? Actually, guys, maybe you have this one memorized, I don't know.
Times pi over 180.
Yeah. You multiply in the radians and you divide out the degree. Remember, pi and 180 are like the same thing. But yeah, that's... You guys have that one memorized?
Yeah.
270, I mean, what it is in radians?
3 pi over 2.
It is 3 pi. 2. Do you remember it? Remember it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a test on Wednesday. Oh, that's the A. We did this. So B, that one you will not have memorized because it's random. Okay, this one it says round to the 100th place. So what does that mean? If your calculator spits out a pi answer, you need to like hit the decimal. Round it to the 100th place. Which one's the 100th place? 10 hundredths, yeah. It's early in the morning for
I
that.
heard like 3 before that, but I was like,
I actually have it.
still want to
I assumed it was Lydia.
No, I didn't have it.
1, 2, 3.
Do you fast in the morning so you don't have hiccups first down?
Start.
Will was like, here's honey and lemon cough drops. In his medicine cabinet. I'm all sick again.
I'm just waiting for them to start a fan club for Will. He picks up stories on the Or you better watch it.
Okay, on 2, I forgot to zoom out. On 2, how do we convert radians into degrees?
Let's change.
Times 180 over pi.
Okay, there is an easier way. You
Change
could,
the pi to 180.
yeah, basically what that does is it cancels out the pi's and the 180 takes its place. Yeah, just turn the pi into a 180. Like that. That's the easiest way to do it. He's actually keeping track. It's kind of not as impressive as last year, is it?
That was crazy.
Well, last year-
What even happened to me?
That's the same piece of paper from last
It's
year?
gotten all crusty. Yeah, I need to give that to somebody who can keep track of Lydia's afternoon.
Okay, you have one.
My English,
Okay,
my
that's a lot.
English class and history class is bad. They always put in there.
What's AA?
Ava and Allison.
Oh, yeah.
We're combined. Mark.
Ava's got the actual
No, I
hiccups.
never did the 200.
Just give it to Trent.
Then you did get to 200.
Wait, where's Lydia then? Oh, you put Lydia's on last year's?
Yeah. And that one sounded fake.
So I forgot to do, darn it, 2B, it just gives a 2.5 radians. So you do have to use the 180 over pi thing.
That's sad.
And just change your answer to a decimal. They probably... Okay, number 3. Find two angles, one positive, one negative, that are coterminal with a given angle. You guys remember what coterminal meant?
They're the same, but they have another rotation.
Yeah, it stops at the same spot. So for example, a 90-degree angle would be coterminal with 90 plus 360, so like 450. So this is both a 90 and a 450 stopping point. So we just add 360 to get a positive, and we subtract 360 until we get negative. So if we add 360, we get 160 for positive, and if we subtract 360, we get negative 560. What should we do differently on C and D?
Change it to the.
Well, on C.
Change it to degrees or add.
Well, just leave it in radians, but you add 2 pi and subtract 2 pi. And if your calculator doesn't do pi's, remember just do the fraction version and throw pi in the answer. D, I'm kind of skipping around. You guys need to do all these though. D is 142 and 10 what? What did that thing mean? Minutes, which means a minute is a 60th of a degree. So it's like that basically. If you add 360, that's not really a big deal. It'd be like 502 and still 10 minutes. Is that you? You sound like a frog.
She's trying to hold them in, so it's just making it worse.
Issa Kimmer had hiccups on Friday and she kept her mouth open and it was like pop, pop every time. Okay, but if you subtract 360, it gets kind of messy. If you subtract, you actually kind of do it backwards.
Don't you then get 50, 60?
This is the old school way to do it. Okay, it'd be 50 60ths, so it's like 50 minutes.
Did it.
But it's negative. How would you do that with a calculator? It'd be a mess. Because your calculator would reduce the fraction. The one time you don't want the fraction reduced. But I don't think I put minutes on the test, so you guys are okay. Okay, sector of a circle has a radius 5 and central angle 48. Okay, I think they're going to be asking for the arc length. I think they used S for the arc length and sector area. Anyways. You guys remember how do we find arc length? Okay, arc length is a fraction of what?
360.
The circumference. Arc length from here to here is a fraction of the circumference. What's the circumference formula?
Radius times pi?
2 pi r squared.
No, that's area. 2r pi. So When I was in school, this is out. So notice they both have a 2r and a pi, right? Circumference is just a length, like one-dimensional. So you only multiply by 2, and areas are two-dimensional, like how much fits in there. So areas are normally bigger. So, and exponents are normally stronger than multiplying. So that's how I remembered it. I don't know if that makes sense. Areas are usually bigger, exponents are usually stronger than multiplying. I don't know, worked for me, whatever. All right. Oh yeah, we're talking about arc length. So arc length is the circumference times what fraction of the circle are we using? What fraction of the circle is this? 48 out of 360. So you just multiply it, whoops, by theta out of 360. So that's the arc length formula.
So that's the formula?
Yes. In degrees. In radians, it's kind of the same thing, except for you do theta over 2 pi instead of 360. And sector area is also a fraction of the circle area. So circle area is pi r squared, but you're only using theta out of 360.
No comment. Market then.
Give me
Be your first market.
On the board.
Sure, Jordan's on the board.
Is he tied with Katie?
Yep. Okay.
We're counting. What are we counting now?
I don't even know. Sneezes and hiccups.
Coughs.
Yeah.
We had about 1 million of those a couple weeks ago. Okay. Any questions on that? I'm gonna leave you guys to it.
Oh.
I said skip 5. I don't want to explain it, and we didn't do it in the homework. Number 6. Okay, this looks a little more confusing than it is. So, if you remember right triangle trig, it shouldn't be a problem. Says we got theta right there. We're supposed to find like sine and cosine of theta. All right. If this point's at -1, 1, what does that tell us?
40. Oh.
Well, kind of, but like, how do we get to this point? What's this mean?
It's back
Back
one,
one.
up one.
Left 1, up 1, right? So right there is like a 1 or -1, and this is like up 1. So we can use that to figure out how long this is.
Square root of 2.
Is that you again? You're streaking. Okay, how did he know it was square root of 2?
The special triangle.
Special triangles. Also Pythagorean theorem. Like 1 squared, yeah. Shouldn't use the word streaking, huh? Okay, so it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And you get like c squared is 2, so c is the square root of 2. But yeah, he used his memory of special triangles, 45, 45, 90. Anyway, what is sine of theta supposed to tell us? So Katoa. Okay, so Katoa, sine is what over what? Okay, cosine is so SOH. Maybe I should, it's been so long, maybe I should go over it all again. I mean, we talked about it a little bit this year, but not much. SOHCAHTOA, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so the sine is going to equal opposite over hypotenuse, 1 over square root of 2. You guys know what 1 over square root of 2 changes into? You're not supposed to leave the square root in the denominator. So you multiply by square root of 2. 1 times square root of 2 is square root of 2. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. Your calculator would do it, yes, automatically. Okay, cosine is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. What's the adjacent for this angle? -1. What's the hypotenuse? Square root of 2. So it's almost the same thing, it's just negative this time. Alright, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let's do one more and then we'll let you guys. Oh well, C is weird. I guess. All right. The B says -1, negative square root of 3. What does that mean? Means we're going left 1 and down square root of 3 because this point is at.
I really watched it.
What happened?
Not again. You farted.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
I'm not gonna breathe in.
I'm glad.
I'll sit here.
I'm glad it didn't come this way.
This makes
It
the air
probably will
freshener.
make its way around.
Not again.
It's like only in this class too. I don't fart in any other class.
It's like passive aggressive. Your anger getting about Anyway, so it's -1, negative square root of 3. Dang.
Nice.
Trey's using all his brain power on day 1 here. So yeah, 1 squared plus that is going to be 4. Square root of 4 is
It's also
2.
gonna be a rough day for Trey.
Trey's like got the Abby vibes going.
Yeah. Just make it straight.
Yeah, I know. Right now it's
I
good
can
though.
already tell today's history class is not gonna
Okay, anyway,
be good. Wait. Who's here? No,
Looking for it.
the
Lord.
the drama? Never mind. Allison. Never mind, guys. Oh, I think I just remember we're gonna do class because.
The mold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joshua was not gonna cover that.
Because it was too so makes life more
I
important.
know you tried to hide my brother all over your picture for bonus.
You told me to do that.
Yes, Trey. Remember? Because we didn't do anything on Friday. And we just did the. Because we're looking at it, because on his computer. Yeah, and he printed it in 20.
Oh. Yeah.
okay, on 6C, what is that angle?
We call it the
Shh, shh,
entire
shh.
building.
Hush. 6C, what's that angle? Not a trick question. 90. You could kind of cheat and just say what's sine of 90, what's cosine of 90. But do you guys remember what sine was at the top?
1.
It's equal to 1 because it's based on the y value and y is at the top of its thing at the top, so it's 1. What's cosine equal at 90?
0.
0. because the x value is 0 at 90 basically. B, I'm just gonna let you guys do it. On 7A, it'd be pretty easy to cheat on. A lot of these would be easy to cheat with, just use the calculator, but they wanted you to kind of think about it. So, sine, like we just talked about this, sine is equal to 1 at 90, right? That's the highest. So which do you think will be bigger, sine of 60 or sine of 65? 65, because 65 is closer to 90 than 60 is. So 7A would be what symbol? Less than. For B, however, cosine has its greatest value at 0 degrees. Because x equals 1 to the right. So cosine of 0 would equal 1. So which is closer to 1, or which is closer to 0 degrees, 60 or 65? 60. So cosine of 60 is actually going to be bigger than cosine of 65. I don't know if that makes sense. You could just plug it in your calculator and compare them. I think they wanted you to visually think about where sine is equal to 1 and negative 1 and all that stuff. That's alright. 8, yeah, I'll just let you guys use your calculators on those. They wanted you to use special triangles, but it's okay. Number 9. Same thing. 10. Yeah, 10 is kind of like number 6. Let's talk about that one. Okay, so number 10 does say between x is between pi over 2. It says tangent of x is equal to, I lost my place, negative 1/3. And x is supposed to be between pi over 2 and pi. So if x is between pi over 2 and pi, where's pi over 2 and pi at on the unit circle here? Where's pi over 2? Yep, up top. And pi, remember, is over here at 180. So the x angle needs to be in the second quadrant somewhere. Okay, so when it says tangent equals negative 1/3, what was tangent equal to? Yeah, I don't think I ever wrote that one down, but because we didn't need it back then. But tangent is opposite of adjacent. So if my triangle is in the second quadrant, which side would be the opposite side? Over here. So that would be the 1. The adjacent would be this side is 3. Well, we need to put a negative on one of these, and in this picture, the x value would be negative. The adjacent side would be negative, because it's left 3, up 1. And then we can find this guy by doing Pythagorean theorem. What's 3 squared plus 1 squared? It's 10. So C is the square root of 10. 2 and 5, they don't have any doubles, so it just stays square root of 10. Okay, and then they wanted you to write the, how many? 5 trig functions for this, besides tangent. So sine of x, cosine of x. Maybe I should go up here and, okay, what's the inverse function for sine? or reciprocal, I meant, I said the wrong thing. Secant, yes. So secant is like sine flipped upside down, so it's like hypotenuse over opposite. Oh yeah, sorry. Cosecant. Secant is this upside down, and then cotangent is that upside down. Alright. Anyways, so sine is opposite over hypotenuse. What's the opposite? 1. What's the hypotenuse? Square root of 10. But 1 over square root of 10 is going to change into square root of 10 over 10. They don't like you to leave square roots in the denominator. So the calculator will do it automatically here. It's not too hard to fix. Just multiply top and bottom by square root of 10. Cosine is what over what? Adjacent, hypotenuse. Right, -3 over square root of 10. So it's kind of like this one. So it'll become -3 square root of 10 over 10. You know what? I'm going to go back and show my work here because we're going to need it later. Alright, so that's sine and cosine. We already have tangent, so we don't have to do that one again. I'm going to go with, what's the opposite of sine? Or the reciprocal anyway, cosecant. And cosecant is sine upside down. Now, this one upside down is not as helpful, like 10 over square root of 10. But this one upside down is square root of 10 over 1, so it's just square root of 10. Secant is reciprocal of cosine, so it's going to be negative square root of 10 over 3. And cotangent, instead of -1/3, it's -3. Yeah, 11 you can use your calculator. This test might be kind of easy because like half of it you can use a calculator on. Famous last words, I probably shouldn't have said that.
So just use a calculator on all of them.
All the ones I completely skipped, yeah.